is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome in. Oh, look at this handsome devil that sits across from me. Just fresh off the DMV, and you can see the joy in his face. Pierre Nugent, Fox 9, Minneapolis. We've not been able to connect with Pierre because of the Timberwolves had a fantastic season all the way to the Western Conference Finals, and they did not win the honor of getting their ass handed to them by the Celtics. That apparently so far is the Dallas Mavericks. Lot in life because, wow, those first two games were not great, not great. I love, you know what? Here's the thing, and I'm not a Mavericks fan. I do respect Luka, who is like, it's all my fault. And you're like, well, no.
Yeah.
If we're assigning blame here.
That's a very admirable attempt at humility and being a good teammate from Luka, but we all know where the blame lies. I'm looking at you, Kyrie. I mean, we all know where the blame lies. Kyrie just needs to volunteer and hold his hand up saying, hey, I've been terrible. But, at the same time, it's guys, it's good to be back with you. I'm so sorry. Over the last few weeks, I just went from Phoenix to Denver to Dallas. Sometimes I've been waking up, asking myself, where am I? What time is it? What day is it? So
we tried to get you here.
Yes.
We tried to get you here. We did try to get you here in studio. But the good news is on that is not a door that is closed because the season is over. Your sister lives in Austin. So the next time you go visit Austin, we're going to get you here in studio.
Yes, I'm already going to try to put the wheels in motion on that, see what the schedules are looking like, because I would love nothing more than – because I haven't seen your guys' studio. I haven't been there since you built it. So
no, absolutely not. So you've only seen it like corners of it.
That's right.
Just whatever has been on the screen when I'm on the screen talking to you. So you've seen this and then the other side of this table. That's the only thing you've seen. And I guess you've seen maybe the screen, and we used to send you like a dummy video so you could tell that you were on, even though it wasn't going over the air, which was the back of me doing the show.
Right.
Because that's where we had to put the dummy camera. Now we have a new system where you don't have to worry about that.
Like you said, I've seen many corners, but I'm ready to see the whole thing.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, I saw that part from and Paul's, fat back bacon there that he's throwing out. So no, I gotta say something about Kyrie, and then I'm gonna be done. We can move on to other things. Okay. But I would if somebody asked me if I were Kyrie, be like, you guys know I really effing hate it here, right? Like, it's well documented how much I hated being a Celtic, how much these people hate me, how much I didn't like it here, and now I'm back in the biggest moment of my career, and everything's been better, but it's hard to be like, and again, I'm not some big Kyrie Irving advocate, but nothing about what happened in Boston with him surprises me, knowing like how, this is kind of the guy that Kyrie is. He's up and down, and he struggled in a place that he absolutely hated being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing, Paul. I think you and I might have had a chance to talk about this previously, but I'm not going to come on here and pretend like I don't have a little bit of disdain for Kyrie Irving. All the off the court stuff to me really has rubbed me the wrong way. And what's the age old, that dumb little catchphrase that you hear from time and time again, when people show you who they are, believe them. That is Kyrie Irving to me. And the funny thing is getting an up close look at Kyrie Irving in the previous round against the Minnesota Timberwolves, I was absolutely reminded at just how good this guy is too. He is so good on the court. I don't think there's another player in the league with his handles and his vision and his mastery of an offense and the way he is on the court. It was watching like a conductor out there in the Western Conference Finals, watching him play basketball. That being said, I wouldn't let him near my team with a 10-foot pole. Not even close. No, I wouldn't let him near anywhere in my team. The guy is bad news. I don't care for him as a person at all. Plenty of documented off-the-court things that have gone on with this guy that is more than enough reason for me to never allow him to be on my basketball team, period, end of story. I'll start 5 centers if I have to before I allow him on my team because I need a point guard. Like, I have I have no warm feelings toward that guy in any regard whatsoever.
Yep. Yeah. I feel the same way, I hope it seems like he's grown up a little bit as he's turned 30, which I hope we all do. But again, it would be one of those things where like, oh, good. We got Amy Winehouse to the stage. Let's hope nothing bad happens. Like she showed up, she's here. Let's see what happens. That's kind of how I would feel. Like, oh, she's been on a good run. We'll see. And I hope the best for any human being. But again, I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm very apoplectic about this entire finals. I think I'm enjoying watching it. I'm enjoying watching it, but again, it's like, So, all right, let's get to some big news here. The Los Angeles Lakers are still looking for a coach. Dan Hurley, I mean that, like, I don't know if I'd be able to say no, given what was rumored to be offered to him, and the fact that he has said that he aspires to the NBA one day, but he is staying at UConn, and he's going to go for that three-peat. He's going to try something that's rarely been done in sports in general, and go for that three-peat at UConn. And this is huge news for college basketball, for one. It's huge news for UConn because they don't have to hire anybody. An hour before I came here, I was going to do my top 5 list, which I do at the end of every main show that we do. And I started doing a Dan Hurley top 5, like who's going to replace him at UConn. And then it hit me. If I finish this, he's going to stay. And then on my way here, I got the alert that, like, yes, he's going to stay at UConn. He's turned down the Lakers. Plus, he'd already announced this morning he was going to have the press conference at UConn. So you don't hold the press conference at the place you're leaving unless you can't actually leave to in case you can't get to Los Angeles. Had he, had we said Dan Hurley's going to have a press conference today, but no known location, I would have been like, well, that's going to be at the Staples Center. That's where that's going to be. That's where the press conference is. But since he's staying in stores, this is really big on 2 fronts. One, do the Lakers now turn to JJ Redick, which I'm not completely sure that's even true, especially the way he's kind of walked around it as he's done the finals here for ESPN. And 2, college basketball is hoping for some bad news for UConn. Some bad news. Just some. And they almost got it, but then they didn't. And now, here's the other thing. As long as Dan Hurley stays, Scott Drew just went through this at Kentucky, where now he can tell every recruit, like, I could have gone to Kentucky. I could have gone to Louisville. They both wanted me, but I feel that it's better here, and here's why. And, no offense to Kentucky or Louisville. Now, Dan Hurley has the ultimate trump card over every coach. You know who I told no to? LeBron effing James, dude. I said no to the Lakers. I said, you know what? I don't care about Magic Johnson being here. I don't need to be friends with him. I love everything about the organization. I'll say all the right things, but guess what? You, 5-star recruit, you want to come here and win? It's better than the Lakers. That's what I'm telling you right now. I think this place is better than the Lakers. That's what he can say. I wanted to be here over the Lakers. That's huge.
Huge. Yeah, absolutely huge. I think for me, I tend to focus more on the Lakers side of this thing because, listen, I know that no matter the circumstance, no matter how dire the franchise might look, no matter if they're on top, no matter if they're on the bottom, it's still the LA Lakers. And every basketball coach probably in America, with now the exception of Dan Hurley and Coach Mike Krzyzewski as well, if you want to go back a few years as well, nobody really says no to the Lakers. Now, when I look at the Lakers right now, LeBron James is a player option for next year. The Lakers have interesting role player pieces, but the only star they have is Anthony Davis, who's signed beyond next year. And Anthony Davis only plays half the time because he hurts himself walking out of the shower. So is the Lakers really an attractive job right now? Because even if LeBron James opts in or signs an extension to where he plays beyond the age of 40, that is the point. He's going to be on the other side of 40. And when LeBron is done, where is that team going to be? What is that team going to look like? I know the Lakers won't have any trouble attracting big name free agents. They've never had a problem with that in the past. But it wasn't that long ago, about a decade ago, I think, Paul, where this team was in a real 5-year drought and things were not looking good for this organization. LeBron signs there, turns it around. I get it. But how like I said before,
LeBron's been there a while, but the only title that they've won was in the bubble.
Yes, correct. And if I'm a coach, especially if I'm a guy like Dan Hurley, and I'm looking at, listen, we can all sit here and pretend like LeBron James when he comes out and say, no, I don't really have this kind of power, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you do. We know we do. But at the same time, too, look what happened to Frank Vogel. Look what happened to Darvin Ham. If you're a head coach in the league or an assistant coach in the NBA or a big time college coach like Dan Hurley, and you think to yourself, well, why wouldn't I think that could happen to me in 2 years? What reason do I have to believe that don't get us to at least the Darvin Ham got them to the conference finals as a 7th seed or whatever it was, and he got shown the door last year.
Yeah.
What reason do you have to believe that if there's just one or two things off, according to LeBron, according to Lakers management, whoever you want to blame, that I won't be shown the door in 2 years? What reason do I have to believe?
Yeah, if I'm Dan Hurley, I would take the Lakers if it was the Lakers like refresh. Like give me, a higher draft pick. Maybe the Lakers go out and sign a big free like Am I on? Okay, there we go. There we go. Welcome back to the Triple Option. We had, so we've been having power surges down here in downtown Waco. I don't know why.
Ridiculous.
I don't know why. I'm not a scientist or an engineer or a city planner. I just know that it pisses me off when it happens. So Garrett worked to get everything back on. I walked around the studio. I had a couple bites of Greek yogurt. I am embarking. By the way, I'm telling everybody this now. I'm going on vacation at the end of this week. When I come back, I'm re-embarking on my health journey that I was very successful with a few years ago, Pierre, if you'll remember. And then COVID happened, and I really decided to drown my sorrows in gravy. So I've after much prodding from my wife and several people, I am going to get lean again. And so it's a goal of mine. So
I got faith in you, buddy.
Yeah. So I've done it before. I'll do it again. I'm not that worried about it. But I was having a Greek yogurt. And that's the first step on the way is eating shit like Greek yogurt where, it's fine. It's fine. It's food. All right.
Paul, if I may, in terms of Greek yogurt, I think I'm going to have to get on that train with you too, because I actually just got into an Instagram dispute with Kellogg's cereal over their absolute shamming of Corn Pops box. I got, you know what? Maybe that's the domino I need that I needed to kick the sugary cereal and replace with Greek yogurt like you. I think I'm going to get on that train as well.
Look, here I found one from this is HEB brand. So you can't get it.
Oh, I know.
But they have flavors like mango and banana pudding. This one is mango. So here, look, just so people can believe that I actually do eat Greek yogurt.
That's right. And HEB, this is your only free plug, by the way. That's it. That's it. After this.
Hey, look, I didn't even realize it was HEB until I just picked it up there. It could have been Dannon. It could have been Oikos or whatever.
Chobani's the other one. Yeah.
Chobani. Yeah, it could have been any of them. I didn't know.
No,
so anyway, there we go. So Kim Coulter says no bread, no rice, no pasta, no potatoes, no fried fruit, no soft drinks. I can do no soft drinks. I've been doing no soft drinks for years. Years. I had gastric sleeve surgery a few years ago. Can't even, I can maybe do a White Claw. That's about as much fizz I can do.
Let me ask you a question on that, because I can do all the things that you listed. I can go without, except the soft drink, because I am a daily soft drink consumer. And if somebody asked me to quit, I would say absolutely not. But the people that I do know who have been daily soda drinkers like myself, the moment they're off of it for a week or two, they say they never go back. Was that your experience?
Yeah. I mean, I physically couldn't have it.
Oh,
and then, and then I actually, it was just off. You can't have it after the surgery. And so about 2 years later, I accidentally had one where I had asked for something at a restaurant and they brought me something else and I didn't realize it. And I just took a drink and I was immediately, I could have won. I was Booger from Revenge of the Nerds, just burping like crazy all over the place. So yeah, no, I have a plan. And I also have what's called, I don't know if you know what these things are, Pierre. You might have one day. It's called a wife. And a wife is a very useful part of any kind of journey where you're going to change your life. Because even the least judgmental wives, when you do grab something, you're like, do you need that? Do you really need that? And I can go, I don't need it. And so I'm not trying to shame you.
Right.
You're not trying to. I mean, again, not trying to shame somebody while you do it is also trying not to fart in an elevator. Once you farted, you farted.
Nobody
just
really
how it is.
Whenever somebody asks, do you really need it? It's why don't you just come out and say that you're trying to ban me from having this thing already? Do you really need this? So I was how about you shut up and mind your own business? How about that?
Here's what I'm upset about. And then we'll move back on to our discussion about the Lakers and Dan Hurley staying. We have, and there's a lot of good things like this Greek yogurt I just mentioned that are healthy for you and taste good and you can get past. But you and I are talking on video right now. Mm-hmm. Okay? I can have anything brought to me by a food butler in any city in America. If I'm stuck somewhere and need a car, I can get a car. We've been to the moon. We're trying to get to Mars. There's all these things that we've done. There's robots now that are like getting so good at things that we have to do something about it.
Yes.
Yet you can't make fried chicken that's good for you. Like, I can't take something that makes mashed potatoes like as healthy as broccoli. Like, can science do something good?
Yes.
Like something that's good.
Agreed. Did you ever like, has anybody ever made a movie of fried chicken taking over humanity and, eliminating humans? No. The AI, we've learned nothing from the movies. AI robots are about to supplant all of us. And yet we can't get a fried chicken that will not clog the artery. Why? Explain it.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
It's
wrong. We can't make a Snickers bar that's good for you.
Ridiculous.
Like, I should be able to eat M&Ms like people eat chickpeas. Like, that would be fair. Yeah. Like, I'm just for, like, you elect me president of the United States, these are the things that I will point the science community on.
You have my vote already. You know you do. Here's the deal. Like, I'm tired of living in a world where I have to assume that just because it tastes good, it means that it's bad for me.
Yeah.
That's the world that I live in. Why do I have to live in that world?
No, we have other things that we just like that are real things that we just deny that aren't, we don't want to hear these things. As president, I promise this. I promise all the scientific might in the world to find food that tastes good that you want to eat that's healthy for you in the battle to end obesity. 2, and I've said this on the show before, I promise standardization of microwave ovens everywhere to where you can, if you need to heat something up for a minute, it's the same on every microwave. You don't have to put time cook, the item, whatever. Like, again, this is where maybe Alexa and Google Home and Apple and Siri can come in with AI. You can just yell out to the microwave, hey, Alexa, heat up this pizza, and then it goes. Like, that way, that uniformity is there, or it can just be easily manual, as where no two microwaves are alike, not even microwaves made by the same company. It's ridiculous.
4 more years is all I have to say.
Yeah, so I'll do that. Also, bidets in every home and public bathroom. I just stayed at a hotel, the Omni in Houston. Mm-hmm. They had a very reasonably priced hotel, too. It wasn't like I was at a Ritz-Carlton or anything.
Right, yeah.
The Omnis are great. Full bidet in the bathroom.
Yeah. With a full bidet, not a Japanese toilet?
No, but full, like, old school, where, like, you had the toilet and then the bidet right there. Yeah. These are things I will push for. And then I do think that some of the joy will start coming back into America, and our divisiveness will just melt away.
Listen, like I said, if you need a campaign manager, I'm more than happy to be there for you, pal. I'm there for you.
Everybody wants to look, I'll spend a bunch of money in the military, like all the good things.
Yeah,
I'll do my best with your taxes. Believe me, I think everybody in Congress is an idiot, so there's really nothing they can do to influence me. Like, correct. I'm just gonna embarrass them at every turn and go full steam ahead. Daylight savings time will be murdered in the street. Like, just murdered in the street. It's over. It's done. The Kaiser Wilhelm is the guy who installed it. We're not going to follow Kaiser Wilhelm anymore.
Let this be an example to you all.
Yes. I'm like, again, and if you're one of those people who says we should have daylight savings time, you can live on that time as a free American. But when you're late or early to everything your entire life, you'll just adjust. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you, this is what time it is in America.
Yes.
We're not changing it all year long. Nope. We're not going to do these things. We're not going to leap forward and spring back and whatever, spring forward and fall back. That's over. If you want to live that life, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you not to. You're an American. You have rights. But people will think you're an idiot for it.
Hey, I can't wait to get to the ballot box, my friend. When I see your name on there, stamp it home. Let's
honestly,
go.
If you put me in a debate against 3 senior citizens right now, I think I would mop the floor with all 3 of them.
Oh, without question. It is without question. No, listen. Your mind is sharp. You're sharp as a tack. You're ready to absolutely tackle the time issue, the daylight savings time conundrum that has eluded us for centuries. Please, by all means.
Yeah. Look, all I can tell you is if the 3 top candidates, of course, one of whom is not going to even get close, but the 3 top candidates are all old-ass people that are kind of like, it's all like the world has passed them by, okay? And that's the nicest thing I can say. And that's all I'm going to say. But
Yes.
I will tell you, you put me in a debate with those 3 old men, and I promise you I could distract at least 2 of them at once.
There's no
at
question.
least 2. At least 2,
question.
and the other one's going to get distracted on his own. At least
Correct.
2, I could distract him. And then, look, I promise you, with at least President Biden, if I said, listen, I am for microform uniformity, he'd be like, you know what? I've had trouble with microwaves since 71.
There's no question in my mind.
Yeah.
No question.
Exactly. I think it'd be great. I think, JG says, Paul flexes on senior citizens. Not senior citizen general. Those guys. That's the only ones. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're not. This is not an indictment on senior citizens.
No,
Even though if I were in charge, I would have an age limit to where you cannot drive anymore.
Well,
Like
I would.
at a certain age, you can't drive.
I would have age limits on most things because we have youth age limits. There's also like when you go back around the other way, right?
Correct.
So yeah, you go back around the other way. I think that's reasonable. Also, let's let these people enjoy their golden years and not have to make these gigantic decisions for the world.
Do you think I want to drive around when I'm 65? I mean, I've said it a million times.
Well, 65 is a little young, but I would say 75, but yeah.
The older I get, I want to use my legs less and less. That's kind of where I want to be by the time, I hit that age. Yeah.
As an appreciation to our senior citizens, I think Uber should give, like the car service should give massive discounts.
Oh,
the older you get, the bigger the discount. Like every year, another 2% off. So say it starts off, essentially when you're AARP age, you get a 25% discount. For every year you hit over that age, 2% more, until like if you're 100 and you ask for an Uber, they'll just pay you $10.
You're just hitting the money.
Here you go. You know what? It is my honor to drive you, sir.
That's right.
Bam.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100% on this, my friend. 100%.
Yeah. So,
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So last thoughts on Dan Hurley and the Lakers before we wrap this up because we had the power surge. So, and then look, again, I'm stumping for 2024. You can write me in if you want to. I'm ready to go. I've got a cabinet ready of Pierre, Garrett, Jack. Although Jack is not old enough to be president yet, so I have to find a job where he's not in the line of secession. I've got good people. I've got good people aboard. And I really think that I could rope in some good people,
Oh yeah, no, there's no question. Listen, we've got a full team in the studio. You've got a full team around you. Like this could easily transition from a media career to a political career with this team.
Nikki Lorenzo, our friend who hosts Inside California Politics, she could be my press secretary.
Oh, a fantastic choice. That'd be a fantastic choice.
Yeah, you're chief of staff right off the bat. You're the Rahm Emanuel I'm going to send out there to bark at people.
I will be drunk with power.
And people are going to be like, I'm sorry, Mr. Newsom, I'm curious about this bidet plan. And you're like, do you want to use thin toilet paper the rest of your life? Yeah. Do you want technology to advance? And like, hey, what's your stance on AI? You seen T2? That's my stance. Watch it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not kidding. I have pounded the table for that. That has absolutely been my campaign slogan the entire time. I would never, ever allow AI to exist. Have you ever seen a movie in the history of your life? No. We will be supplanted. This is your fault. No AI. No.
Yes. Yeah, I think that would be good. So, all right, last thoughts on Dan Hurley and not the Lakers. Yes. I wonder where the Lakers go. You mentioned Anthony Davis. He's always hurt. If I'm Dan Hurley, the job I'm going to take is Lakers young and getting a free agent, like Paolo Banchero, who when he hits free agency, because he looks like he's going to be a stud in the league. Like if he went to the Lakers, that's maybe when I would want to go. And he may never go, right? Sure. But like if Devin Booker went there, like it'd be like, okay, that to me is maybe more interesting. We'll build this team around a guy like that. But that, like, who knows if that's going to happen. Or if I'm Dan Hurley, the job I'm leaving for is a job like Orlando that has young stars and maybe just not the right coach, so that I can come in and install my culture before these guys are so established in the league that they become the next LeBrons of the world where they're just saying things.
Yeah, and like think of it this way: like I said earlier, the only other guy in comparison that has been in this situation was Mike Krzyzewski, and now you put yourself in a class where you can say to, like you touched on earlier, You could say to everybody around you, hey, I turned down the Lakers. Like, who says I turned down the Lakers? And so you have achieved a level of success and notoriety to where you can have the power and you have the confidence to say to yourself, I can say no to the Lakers if I want. Not many people get to say that, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people get to say that, and that is worth a lot, in my opinion. If I'm a college recruit, you like you said, you touched on it earlier, a good comparison with Scott Drew not leaving Baylor to go to Kentucky, saying, listen, I love this place so much. I believe in this place so much. I said no to these things. And what do you think an 18-year-old kid, 17, 18-year-old kid's going to say? I would, in my opinion, they're going to be like, wow. Well, I mean, that really says a lot. You got 2 national titles, 2 rings on your fingers as you're talking to me. It's an easy sell. It's an easy sell for a recruit right now.
No, yeah. It's totally easy sell. When we come back, we got 2 things left in the show. One, Florida State's AD did an interview with Dennis Dodd. He's on the show with me at 3:30 today. I've already talked to him and recorded that interview. It was really interesting. They're very confident and loud about this realignment plan, where Clemson is not. They're just letting their court filings do the talking. And then UNC is like, they've got a couple people that are like, and then everybody else is like, no, we're not going to say anything. But why are they so confident, and why is this a good thing considering everything else realignment-wise was done under the darkness of night? That's all coming up next. And then Pierre does a Dolphins quiz in our game, How Much Do You Know the Thing That You Love? And Pierre, I've got some doozies for you here.
I'm ready.
I've got some doozies, some absolute doozies. And Garrett, we might need to do some counting on a couple of these.
Okay.
So
do that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. When we come back, we'll talk FSU and then Pierre's Dolphin segment. Let's see how well he knows them. This is 365 Sports.
If your business is like most, you need things done quickly. But if you're still tying your critical applications together on multiple shared public networks, you've probably been feeling the slowdown. And that's no good for business. A private UPN fiber network can get you and your business moving at the speed of light. Whatever you need, we can build it. Internet, Metro Ethernet, Waves, dark fiber. We deliver custom private networks and are focused on business customers only. Our next generation 100% fiber optic infrastructure offers you low latency and ultra scalable bandwidth with speeds up to 100 gigabit to run your critical applications. Your connection won't be limiting your performance anymore. It's diverse and scalable, so it can grow and change as your business grows and changes. And with a secure carrier-grade private network, you'll have all the reliability you need. Contact UPN today to learn more. Fast just got faster.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome back. Pierre Newsom joins me. I had to swallow that last bite of delicious Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt.
No oats or honey or anything?
No, there's already little mango bits in it, so
okay.
It's good.
All right.
Greek yogurt. It's a thing.
Tell me that can't be a slogan. Tell me it can't.
Yeah.
You should copy that right now.
Yeah. Greek yogurt, good enough for a whole country.
That's right.
There we go. If it's good enough for the Greeks, it's good enough for us.
Man, we're talking. You're a president now. I mean, I'm putting you like the president of marketing, like for the company I run next.
Again, when I go take my visit to Greece as a president, and I'll be like, hey, by the way, I love your euros and yogurt. Like, it's a very, very exciting,
Man, I could for a euro right now. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds so good.
Yes. I'm not going to get into which part of this world invented hummus, but you guys do it, so,
Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
That could cause a whole new world crisis if you start to have that conversation. We have enough of those going on already.
Yeah, no. You all had your part in hummus. Let's just put it that way.
I can see a quiet conversation, a quiet, tense conversation. All of a sudden, somebody's like reaching down to hold the butt of their knife, just ready to go.
Whoa.
Like,
Well, let's say, hey, man. Yeah, absolutely. So, Florida State, very confident. Michael Alford, the AD at Florida State, sat down for an interview. He talked to Dennis Dodd. Very confident about their plan moving forward to eventually leave the ACC. And make no bones about it. They're like, the ACC doesn't think at all that this is going to end where like Florida State and Clemson and everybody else is like, you know what? I love you, baby. You know, I'm sorry I stepped out. I'm sorry that we did this, but I was feeling like I didn't know it was out there and I wasn't reaching my full potential, but really what I had in you was enough all along. Like, that's not going to happen. This is not a romantic comedy ending. This isn't one of those. This is Florida State and Clemson will leave the league. Every other realignment thing kind of happens like you wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, well, this is how it is. Now, while we saw the Pac-12 coming because of the way that they were handling things, the Big 12, all of those things, it still wasn't done very publicly. Like, nobody from the Big 12 or from the Pac-12 was like, oh, yeah, no, I'd love to join the Big 12. And they would say, like, look, if there's no Pac-12, then we have to consider options.
Right.
Because that's the answer you have to give. But, like, we're totally committed to making this league work. With Michael Alford and FSU, it's like, we're not committed to making this league work. We're committed to making as much money as we can. And athletics is a very important part of this university. Football is a very important part of this university. As a matter of fact, it's kind of our whole personality. That's, even though everything else has been good, like, they have a very good, deep athletic department. They win in a lot of things consistently. But it's all about football, and they've been very confident about that. Now, I think they overvalue themselves a little bit much, and this is me saying as a person who values them a lot. I just know that that's me as an alum. Like, I value them a lot, but I do look at things realistically and like, okay, yes, you're valuable. Are you as valuable as you're saying you are, or you're just trying to sell yourself to these other leagues? Because it is kind of a job interview. We've all been on job interviews where like, can you do this? You're like, absolutely. And you're like, I'm going to have to learn how to do that, and you have to maybe boost yourself up a little bit. But they're very confident in what they are and what they could be, which I think is good. The problem is that they're kind of skiing down a mountain here that they don't know all the twists and turns. And as prepared as they are, I don't know if this being this confident and outward about it is necessarily the best overall strategy.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned it because I actually read the report from Dennis Dodd probably an hour before you and I got on the podcast today. I read the report, and one of the things that stood out to me was, and you mentioned in terms of, how much is Florida State really valuing or perhaps overvaluing themselves. In the report, it says that Florida State, Paul, I'm sure you read it. If I'm not mistaken, Florida State was 13th in the nation when it comes to in terms of the amount of interest that is, I should say, issued in terms of their pecking order in terms of where they are in college football. Clemson was right ahead of them at 12. So Clemson and Florida State were right there in terms of national interest across the board. And I don't think that Florida State is planning an exit from the ACC. I don't think that there's I don't think there will be a problem in terms of wherever they go, whichever conference they decide to join, whether it's the SEC or whether it's the Big Ten or God knows if somehow they decide to join another conference. I don't think there's going to be a lack of interest or a lack of star power when Florida State comes to your conference, even if you join the SEC. Florida State, to me, is absolutely a national power. It's a brand name. It's a name that it has a lot of weight around the country. In the report, though, from Dennis Dodd, the exit price from the ACC, that was what was it, $570 million?
Yeah, right now. Like, that's not what they're going to pay.
Right, exactly. But that number right there, I thought to myself, we see this all the time with NFL players who don't show up to camp, like CeeDee Lamb. If he doesn't show up to camp, he's going to have to forfeit X amount of dollars until he decides to report the camp. Well, CeeDee Lamb doesn't really care about that money because he knows if he holds out and he gets the deal that he eventually wants, he's going to make tenfold of whatever he just had to forfeit over. You know, it's not exactly apples to apples. I get it, but that's kind of how I feel about it if I was in Florida State seat.
Well, yeah, there's no guarantee they're going to get, like, you know, I think they do want the Washington-Oregon deal where they go to a conference, they'll take a partial share, and then when the TV deals are redone, they're going to be better off. Like, they're willing to take the money that they have right now and go on. But again, nobody's going to say anything because it's not even – like, they don't even have to do the math at this point if you're the SEC or Big Ten because you don't even know when this is going to be. Like, this is so highly speculative. All right, we have to take a break right here because I really want to do this. I've been looking forward to this. We did with Steven Simcox last Wednesday on TCU. He did not do very well. Now, also, I will say I did not do very well on his end. I will let you do this to me next week. Okay. You know, as a favor, we'll go back and forth. And then the week after that, I say next week. I'm on vacation next week. Week after that, when we're back together again, we'll do it. You can ask me that. And then I'm going to get every good San Jose Sharks question I can find out there, you know. And
I will say, for the record, before we started, though, I will say I've purposely forgotten more about Dolphins football than I care to remember, for the record, because they've given me reason to.
I know that. And that's why I picked them first. That's why I picked them first. This is 365 Sports.
If your business is like most, you need things done quickly. But if you're still tying your critical applications together on multiple shared public networks, you've probably been in a slowdown. And that's no good for business. A private UPN fiber network can get you and your business moving at the speed of light. Whatever you need, we can build it. Internet, Metro Ethernet, Waves, dark fiber. We deliver custom private networks and are focused on business customers only. Our next generation 100% fiber optic infrastructure offers you low latency and ultra scalable bandwidth with speeds up to 100 gigabit to run your critical applications. Your connection won't be limiting your performance anymore. It's diverse and scalable, so it can grow and change as your business grows and changes. And with a secure carrier-grade private network, you'll have all the reliability you need. Contact UPN today to learn more. Fast just got faster.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome back. Paul Catalina and Pierre Nugent. And Pierre, it's a good thing that the Dolphins are not going to maybe see this. They might be disappointed with you.
I thought you were going to say it's a good thing they're not going to the Super Bowl. And I was like, yes, agreed.
Well, okay. So, all right, I'm going to ask you the three easiest ones first.
Okay.
And then we're going to do some lists.
Let's do it.
What year did the Dolphins join the AFL?
This is not a multiple choice, correct?
Yeah, it's not a multiple choice.
This must have been late 60s. It's late 60s, I want to say. It's 67, 68. Let's go 1968.
1966. You're right there. Okay. This one's going to make you mad.
Okay.
The Dolphins were the paragon of consistency through the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yes.
In that time, how many losing seasons did they have?
70s, 80s, and 90s.
Combined.
Wow. 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm going to say 3.
2. You're right around it. Just 2.
God. That's pretty. That 70s, 80s, and 90s. There was only 2 losing seasons. Wow.
2 losing seasons.
Don Shula, the greatest of all time.
All right. When did they play in their first Super Bowl, and what was the result?
What, like in what year?
Yeah.
I want to say it was 19. I believe it was the 71 team because they lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah, there you go.
To the Cowboys, and I want to say the result was. I want to say it was like, what was it? I want to say it was like 14-3, but that doesn't sound right. Let's go. Yeah, 14-3.
24-3. 24-3.
24-3. Okay.
24-3.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. How many stadium names can you remember?
Okay.
They've only played in 2 stadiums as home. The first one's easy to name, and the second one is the one they've been in, but it's changed its name a bunch of times.
Does the Orange Bowl count?
Orange Bowl counts. Okay.
The Orange Bowl, Joe Robbie Stadium. It is now currently Hard Rock Stadium.
Yes.
And I know that there's one in there that I should know that for some reason is escaping me. I'm trying to think of, because for a long time, growing up for a long time, I remember it being Joe Robbie Stadium.
Yes. It was Joe Robbie for a very long time, and it's changed its name a bunch in the last 15 years. I
should know this.
I'll tell you that there's 2 of them that are so similar to each other, and it's just splitting hairs, but they were different names.
I think it's escaping me. Yeah, Joe Robbie and Hard Rock are the only ones I got outside of the Orange Bowl. Those are the only 2 that I've got.
Okay. There's pro player.
Wait. Was there what's the oh wait, no. I was thinking I thought Jimmy Buffett had some kind of influence on the name.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Was it? It's not a market. They didn't name it Margaritaville.
I'll just do this.
Oh, the Shark. Well, was it like not Land Shark Stadium?
Yes. There you go. Land Shark Stadium.
Okay.
Fins to the left, fins to the right.
Jimmy Buffett just suddenly came to my brain, and there it was.
Rest in peace.
All right, yes, gone too soon.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, here's the ones you didn't get.
Okay.
Dolphin Stadium.
Oh, wonder where they came up with the name.
Dolphins Stadium.
Okay.
Pro Player Park. And Pro Player Stadium and Sun Life Stadium.
I should have gotten Pro Player and Sun Life. That is a failure on my part. 100%.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now this is the hard part. How many quarterbacks can you name between Marino and Tua?
How many?
There's so many.
You have a long list, don't you?
Yeah,
okay.
I've got the list here. I've got all of them here.
Okay.
Every time you name one, we'll count it off.
Jay Fiedler.
Okay.
Damon Heward.
Okay.
Who else are we going after Damon Heward? Brian Greasy.
Okay.
John Beck.
Yes.
Ray Lucas.
Uh-huh.
Trent Green.
Okay.
Who else do we have? Who else do we have? We have Ryan Tannehill.
Uh-huh.
Matt Moore.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Who else do we have? Oh, Chad Henne.
Uh-huh.
And Joey Harrington, I believe, was one.
Yeah, 11 games.
Okay. Who else? Let's see. I know I can. Where am I at? 10?
You're at 10 so far.
And there's a total of 19 or 20, I want to say.
Yeah, there's some recognizable names here too that you've not seen. Sage Rosenfels, yes.
Okay. Who else do we have? We have who else do we have? Brock Osweiler.
Yes.
And Jay Cutler.
Uh-huh.
Who was, let's see. I'm starting to wind it down here a little bit. This was after Dan Marino. Oh, was Scott Mitchell?
No, he was there at the same time.
He was okay. Oh, that's right. He was. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So after, let's see. I'm drawing a blank on in between. I think I might have to close the door on it here because nobody else is really coming to mind. But
did you say Jay Cutler?
I did. He was
okay. You said Jay Cutler. Okay,
he was
Jay Cutler. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did not say.
Oh, Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington. Okay, there you go.
Yep. Chad Pennington. Yes.
Okay.
That's probably going to be my last one.
Okay. You did not say Gus Frerotte.
I should have known that.
Yeah. You did not say AJ Feely.
Should have known that one. They traded a second-round pick for him.
Yeah. You did not say Cleo Lemon, who started 8 games for them over 2 seasons.
I believe Cleo Lemon was on the team, or he might have been the starter in that 1-15 team, if I'm not mistaken.
In 2007, was that 1-15?
That was the 1-15 year, I believe.
Yeah. And they responded by signing Chad Pennington and not drafting a quarterback. I remember that.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. Tyler Thigpen.
Yeah, should have got that one. Oh, I know another one, actually, by the way, before you say another one's name. I know another one. Pat White.
No.
Pat White absolutely started. He may not have started a game. I wonder if he came in. He was drafted. Pat White, I think, got in a game.
Okay. You did not say Josh Rosen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
You did not say Teddy Bridgewater.
I should have known that one.
You did not say Jacoby Brissett.
I did not. And I should have said Skylar Thompson.
Yes, okay. I'll give you that one because I didn't say it yet.
Yeah.
And the one I told you about Dante Culpepper. 4 games.
Did I forget that?
Yeah. And you did not say Fitzmagic.
Oh, shame. What a pathetic
20 starts. 20 starts over 2 seasons for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I would argue that of all the names that are on that list before Tua, not that I'm necessarily a huge Tua supporter. I'm fine with them, but I think there's room to grow. I would argue that Jay Fiedler, the guy who replaced Dan Marino, I would argue he was the best quarterback Miami has had since Dan Marino. I know there's a case to be made for Chad Pennington, but Jay Fiedler was very underappreciated, and it was because he was the man that replaced Dan Marino.
Yes. So there you go. You did pretty well. You did pretty well.
Should have got more. Dante Culpepper. How did I miss that? I mean, that was the whole Drew Brees fiasco that set this franchise on course for doom and misery, and my loathing of Nick Saban. That was absolutely the start of it all.
Yes. So hold on. Let's see.
Dire straits.
Okay, Jay Fiedler is the 4th most winningest quarterback in Dolphins history.
Yes.
He's got 36 wins. If Tua has even a bad season, you would think he would pass him this year to get to 3rd, and he might, if they win 11 games, pass Ryan Tannehill's at 42, Bob Greasy's at 92. Nobody is catching Marino at 147 anytime soon. So
when Dan Marino retired, those teams were still built to be maybe not a Super Bowl contender, but they were playoff teams. Those teams were still built to be a playoff contender. And Jay Fiedler, I think, did his job admirably. And maybe one day Paul will get him on the show so we can tell him, you know what? Hey, 25 years later, don't you think for a second that you weren't appreciated?
Yeah. No, I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that. So
I should have done better. I should have got more of the quarterbacks. Yeah, Dante Culpepper, I should have known right away.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm proud of you that you got it. You got 10 before you even started to question yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So
how many on the list? How many did you count on the list? There's got to be 21 now that I think about it.
Let's see. Let's see. It went Marino, then Damon Heward, Jay Fiedler, and Damon Heward.
Yeah.
Ray Lucas, Brian Greasy, AJ Feely, Sage Rosenfels, Gus Frerotte, Culpepper, Harrington, Lemon, Green, Lemon, Beck, Pennington, Henny, Thigpen, Henny, Matt Moore, Ryan Tannehill. Let's see, Cutler. I can't believe that was only one season. Tannehill and Osweiler, Fitzpatrick and Rosen, Fitzpatrick and Tua and Brissett, Tua and Bridgewater and Thompson, and Tua started all 17 games a year ago.
I don't know how I left Fitz off that list, too. Fitz was absolutely – if anybody remembers, I think it was the COVID year. People have to go back to that game against the Raiders where they were struggling, and he just launched a miraculous pass downfield, and it was somehow caught. And I'm blanking on – I should know who it was caught by, and I'm blanking on it. They come back and beat the Raiders around week 16 or something like that. Incredible game. Fitz magic was absolutely sensational for that team. Sensational.
Yeah, absolutely sensational. All right, Pierre – I'm just so excited to see you again, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks because that's when I'll be back. So
great to be back, boys.
All right.
So good to be back with you.
Today on the show, we've got Dennis Dodd. We've got John Wilner. The Pac-12, Pierre, ended last night. It's over, and if I am Oregon and Oregon State, I want to forget how the Pac-12 ended before anybody else because Oregon State lost on a pass ball where the pitcher did not cover home plate and the runner from Kentucky scored from second.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Oregon was in control against A&M, walked the bases loaded, walked in a run, plunked in a run, walked in a run, grand slam. And, yeah, so absolutely just brutal end to the Pac-12.
Isn't Jeff Kent's son on Texas A&M? He launched one last night, didn't he?
Oh, he's the one who hit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the one who hit it. Just absolutely crushed it. So, all right, Pierre, see you in a couple weeks. And also today on the show, Ryan Andrade. We'll talk about Dan Hurley staying at UConn with us. He's with RotoWire. This is 365 Sports. See you in an hour, everybody.
If your business is like most, you need things done quickly. But if you're still tying your critical applications together on multiple shared